Your Education is an interesting idea, but when I realised what it was about, I figured this was definitely opening itself up to many potential racist depictions. Actually, it wasn't that bad. There are some that are not that great, but it definitely wasn't as bad as I feared. This is a Warner Brothers cartoon from 1938. It's directed by Frank Tashlin and written by Dave Monahan. And we have a voice cast including Mel Blanc, Billy Bletcher, Danny Webb, Paul Taylor Group, and the Symphonettes. And this is in a travel agency. And it focuses on all of these travel brochures. And obviously each brochure depicts a different country or a different location. And on the covers we have characters that are meant to represent classic people from those locations. And that's where I thought this could be really, it could have been really terrible. They could have done a lot of racial stereotypes. And I'm not going to say there weren't any, because that's definitely not the case. There were some that were a little more awkward than I would have liked. But knowing what we know about other Warner Brothers cartoons from this time, it could have been worse. Of course, just because it could have been worse doesn't mean that it's completely okay, but I think that that's just something that I wanted to point out as being not as bad as I'd feared. The actual concept is brilliant, as I've mentioned numerous times. I love it when inanimate objects come to life or characters from books and magazines come to life, and this is definitely what we get here. I would have liked a little bit more interaction between the characters, and I would have liked them to step away a little bit from the brochures, because most of them would just come to life, do a little dance for a couple of seconds in front of their specific brochure, and then we'd move on to the next one. And we didn't really get a lot of time away from the brochures, so it didn't really feel like they were coming to life as much as I would have liked. And it is quite unusual because there are many Warner Brothers cartoons like this, and that's not usually the case. Usually the characters will stray far away from the whatever magazine or book they're from and interact with characters from other books and magazines, and we're just not getting that here. But on the flip side, because it is quite brief and we don't get that much time with each character, we also get to see quite a lot of variety. So where we have a con, we can also see that they've managed to get a positive out of it as well. So I can't complain too much. Visually, it is really beautiful. The colours of the magazines are bright and bold and attractive, and everything looks really great. Obviously, some characters are definitely more stereotypes than others, but in general, the animation is very well done. And the pacing, yes, I would have liked to have spent a bit more time with them, but if they're going down this route of let's show as many different countries and cultures as we can, then the pacing is not too bad if that's the kind of thing you're looking for. As I said, personal preference, I would have liked them to step away a little bit and give us a little bit more time with some of them, because we only really focused on maybe one or two of them. But I feel like there were more opportunities. Nevertheless, it's not bad. The music is okay. The animation is certainly very engaging. The pacing is potentially good, depending on what you're looking for, and it's an interesting enough concept. Definitely not as bad as it could have been. I did fear, once I read that they were going to be bringing travel brochures to life, that there would be just one racial stereotype after the next, but they're at least every other character rather than every character. I didn't mind it. I probably wouldn't watch it again. If I were to rank every Warner Brothers cartoon where inanimate objects come to life, it would probably be down there, quite low at the bottom. But I do think I have unnaturally high expectations for that kind of film because I do love them. So that's maybe not saying very much. But either way, if it sounds like it would appeal to you, then I'd say You're in Education is maybe worth watching once.